now that I have your attention, you know what time it is. All black, everything, baby. Yeah, that's average sized. So let's check it out. I didn't think pens could be satisfying until I heard the Studio Neat Mark II do this. Come on, let's just be real. No work is getting done. I'm distracting everyone else around me, but you bet my eardrums are having the time of their lives. Don't worry, when you do decide to finally work on some Picassos, it's smooth, comfortable, heavy, but in the best possible way. Plus, it uses magnets too. So I'm not sure why I still need to convince you to put this on your next birthday wish list, because it ain't cheap, and rightfully so given the full metal build, matte black finish, and overall durable design that may just last longer than you do. It quite possibly could be the last pen you'll ever need to buy. Look, I have a thing for hydrating, but with all the disposable plastic bottles, separate filtered bottles, and even different carry options, it's nice to finally find one that does it all with this UV purification, thanks to a longtime channel sponsor favorite, LARQ, and their new PureVis 2 bottle, which they even made an app for. So if that doesn't scream futuristic bottle from 2069, I don't know what is. Plus, I sort of needed the positive vibes that this packaging was giving me. The bottle itself in the Blackout finish is made of a tough metal exterior with some sleek minimal branding and a button on top to activate the cleaning services. Speaking of which, consists of a UV purification light designed to eliminate 99.9999% of contaminants like E. coli and Salmonella. But now they've combined it with their Nano Zero filter straw too, which will also filter out PFAS and chlorine. Basically a dual action system to keep your liquid safe and give you peace of mind when sipping that good. But you know we had to test it as well. Starting with our kitchen sink, I'd assume is a pretty safe bet to begin with, but knowing your water has been zapped and filtered does somehow make it taste even better. One step further, only in case you're in a pinch, although some of you may drink it for fun while showering, I for one think it's pretty good too. However, you should never be this desperate to hydrate. The final boss though are these dirty, filthy fountains you find at the park, in a mall, or some random alleyway. But that's not a problem for this guy. It's like carrying around the guarantee that you can always stay hydrated. And carry you will, thanks to the giant rubber loop that's surprisingly comfortable to hold. And while this isn't the lightest bottle we've ever tested, the trade-off for the tech, filtration, and ability to keep your liquids cold for up to 24 hours is totally worth it. Plus, you can also ditch the straw too if you really hate sucking on things. And they finally updated to USB-C charging too. Oh, and now your bottle can actually remind you to take a sip. It'll keep track of your water intake and also remind you when your filters get too old as well. So links and details down below. This Kickstarter got over 1,000 backers in its first 3 hours, plus it being the best price you're ever gonna get it at. So let's check out what the hype is all about. This might be the most unique flashlight that we've tested. From a channel favorite, Wuben and their new X2 Pro Flashlight. Basically a chunk of metal with multiple flashlights mashed into one. There's the main top light that utilizes 4 LEDs, allowing you to scroll through brightness levels, but double click and you instantly spit out 1500 lumens. However, when combined with its magnetic base, you've got a hands-free work light, with the side light making an instant table lamp for those late night diary entries, or it makes it easy to search through all your storage, but even more useful is when you clip it onto yourself. My personal favorite though, the hat clip. Especially with the dual angles, you can make sure others see you or vice versa, and you can see them too. The all metal body can take a beating. Trust me, when you feel this in your hand, you'll understand why you never have to worry about anything breaking off. It's a chonker. Oh, and there's what I call a hidden secret mode. Double click to swap between party modes. Great to start a mini rave, but also useful when making sure others can spot you from far, far away. The whole futuristic aesthetic looks like it's from 2069, and don't even get me started on how satisfying the battery door ejector is to fidget with. Oh, and yes, it runs on 2 AA batteries, but wha-bam, it can also just run on 1. Plus, it's USB-C rechargeable too. Plus, due to popular demand and Kickstarter feedback, they're including an option to swap the side light for a UV light. So freaking cool. So for more details, links in the description down below. Paired with your favorite pen is Batman, aka Bruce Wayne's personal notebook. In collaboration with Uncrate, this is the Wayne Enterprises Desk Journal, a pocket-sized notebook with a soft pebble grain leather cover and gold accent acid-free paper. It's the perfect sketchbook, taskless, or what may be the most sophisticated diary you'll ever write in. The finer details and even stamping elevates its classy appeal. Plus, the Smithsonian binding is a nice touch for added durability. So while this may be the fanciest thing you own, you don't have to worry about tossing it around, squeezing, bending, or folding, as it fits in my back pocket too. We rarely show jewelry because nothing has met our standards to feature. That is, until we found this. A gachapon toy only found in Japan, which covers a whole range of classic Casio watches. It is a one size fits all at about a size 9 or 10, but don't worry, you can buy the whole set on eBay and go all Thanos on all your friends. Seriously speaking though, a ring is sacred. I for one would love for it to be functional. In comes the Zyac Knives M390 mini ring blades. Not only is it super addictive to flip open and closed, it can actually open and cut down any Amazon package you're trying to hide from your girlfriend. Look, at about 1/2 inch, something you're all familiar with holding anyways, it's definitely one of those showers and not growers. But with the full metal body and even a pointy glass breaker on the opposite side, this may be used more than 95% of all your other tools, simply because you'll always have it on you. And you know what they say about tiny rings. Tiny fingers. They also offer different designs that aren't as industrial and intense. Sleek and mature, I'd say, is the vibe this is giving, but just remember, all of which are still more useful than you. This one landed in our studio just as we finalized curating this Blackout collection. Another from Uncrate's shop of all things I wish I had more of, the Seiko 5 SRPJ75 Honda Cub limited edition watch, which is a classic beater in itself and an everyday piece that you can wear daily, mainly thanks to the natal strap and dialed in face. But for my Honda Cub enthusiasts or any vehicular fans in general, the added graphics and two-tone colorway makes it a special one to wear. The printed on details are clean and simple. Combine that with the matte black shell and silver accents. Plus the Honda red just pops right into your eyeballs. It looks even better when you charge up those glow-in-the-dark markers. You know we had to include one, and while not completely blacked out, a full chunk of zirconia metal is a close second best. And if you're a fan of fidget spinners, it doesn't get any more smooth, satisfying, and overall mouth-watering than when you flick this around. Combine that with the fact it's got a magnetic clicker built right in. Come on. This onigiri not only looks like a work of art, but is about the size of a quarter. So you can secretly spin this within your hand, under the table, or even just in your pocket all day long. First things first, because I know you're going to want it, it's no longer available at retail, but the Porter shoulder air jacket and pouch is like a phone case on roids. Basically, it's a phone case attached to a whole damn shoulder strap. And there's something about using the right hardware combined with some thick padding that takes a simple object and transforms it to S-tier levels. The additional pouch is tiny, but is enough for AirPods and your daily essentials too. But come on, if you're really part of the pocket hoarders gang, this is a must-have. We're shooting this during the summer, so a portable handy fan was a no-brainer. And this JISULIFE Life 7 folding fan model comes clutch not only for the 5 levels of speed, but the swivel head that allows you to hold, mount, and hang it in a variety of ways, all while being about the size of my iPhone, and not much heavier either. Now, if you suck at finding things and don't mind the extra bulk, this is an AirTag multi-tool, which is a first for us, from ATEC, and another from Uncrate's shop of all things I want but can't have. This is a flat-ish type tool with a built-in carabiner, something you usually add onto your keys anyways, but with the additional tools making it extra useful. And obviously there's a bottle opener too. To store all your keys though, we featured Orbitkey in the past, and they haven't changed much because don't fix what ain't broke. joke, right? But somehow they still found ways to make their key organizer even better. This Pro model features their classy leather finish in an all black metal hardware combo, but the main change is this: a quick access tab for the key you use the most. No more fumbling between multiple and swiveling it all back and forth. You still have access to the rest as per usual, but they've also updated the locking screw mechanism that ensures you can dial in exactly how tight you want them to be. Lastly, they've also locked the D-ring in place, so no more having it slide around, which when you add all the upgrades together makes for a pretty sleek Blackout key organizer that you may not want to put down anymore. This might just be the most infamous camera on the internet, having been sold out since 5 ever. So instead of promoting the camera, let's just run through the full Blackout camera setup. Up front, the NiSi quarter black mist filter for uber soft shots, a folding thumb grip from Lensmate to still allow for complete access to all controls, this custom 8-ball shutter button, because if you know, you know, SmallRig's new L bracket that adds some needed girth for your hands to comfortably wrap around. Combine that with the archer plate along the bottom, mostly so I don't scratch the real deal, and a magnetic coin-shaped flathead that's attached to the bottom, so that's one less tool to carry with me. I just upgraded to the MIGHTYKILLERS Cam Rope D1, which is basically a very expensive piece of string, but what sold me was being able to hang it as low as I wanted, but then wha-bam, tie it as tight as you want and let it hang as high as you want, while also not getting in the way when you have to go full handheld mode too. Then there's my battery case from Stroppa, just a beautiful made tiny leather pouch that also holds an additional SD card. And lastly, my flash of choice, which has been discontinued from Fujifilm, the EF-X20, which is great for pics, only for the fans, but mainly because it also makes my setup look super cool and like I know what I'm doing with the camera. Now in terms of an actual tool, the Lever Gear XT is not only priced affordably, but can also do more cutting than blades double or triple the cost. Utilizing a scalpel-like design for peak portability, it slides in and out like a utility blade, but stored inside a case the size of my finger. Made of all metal though, it can take a beating, but also offers a screwdriver, full pry bar on the opposite end, and with the included optional clip that you can screw in, makes carrying this a no-brainer. The king of all Blackout, MKBGD, and his matte black everything we all live and breathe by, in collaboration with the classic Ridge wallet. Ironically, they've glossed out the design, but honestly, I don't hate it. It's a little busy on the face, but with words I'm happy to show off. And if you're unaware of the internet's most copied metal wallet, it's essentially 2 pieces of metal held together by a thick elastic, which basically allows you to carry up to 12 cards and then some. Now, I rarely show packaging, but the full commitment to the all black everything here is worth sharing. Plus, they include an alternative money clip as an elastic instead, keeping it slimmer, but you do lose the sharper look of metal all around. Overall, it's a wallet that works for anyone if you don't mind the feel of cold steel, as it can carry as little as a single card comfortably too. You know, just in case you wanted to show off your love for all things matte black. Now, if you have a memory of a goldfish, pairing any wallet with Nomad's new Trakke card is a game changer. Not only because it works with Apple's Find My app, or the fact that it's only about 2 cards thick, fitting into any wallet card sleeve, but it can wirelessly charge too. Or, well, charge in general. So no need to replace the whole thing when it dies. Plus that sick blueprint see-through graphic on top is just an added bonus. I'm not sure what you need to protect that's so tiny, but just know the Ikigai metallic pillowcases can and will ensure it never lets you down and never gives you up. The mini vitamin cases are my favorite size, with a sliding door and additional grippy texture on top too. It utilizes a metal ball that holds it open, but also magnetically keeps it shut too. And yeah, it is as satisfying as it looks to play with too. At the size of about a single AirPod, you can carry a day's worth of candy, but they offer a variety of size and organization options to choose from. Great if you need to split by the day or by the meal, but don't worry, it comes in a variety of colors too for the boring friends that you're buying a gift for. Boo. Blackout for life. Lately, this has been my favorite fitness and life tracker, simply because it fits on my bazookas that I call muscles. Unlike other trackers that you have to wear on your wrist or fingers, the Whoop is pretty full featured, if not more than others, and while there's so much to cover with it, the basics are it gives you a recovery and strain score, both that help define how hard you should go during the day based on how you performed in the previous days. Combine all that with being able to measure how you sleep, which is the most important part for for me. Obviously, take any metric with a grain of salt, but being able to see a trend of data over time is useful to show any poor or good habits to continue to follow. Now, it does come default as a watch strap, and there's no screens or lights to notify you of anything. It's literally just tracking you all day with the idea you never have to take it off, even to charge. For me, that's exactly what I want. Never have to think about it or see it and still be able to use my hands freely. But more importantly, now I can wear my watch collection without having to double fist a tracker on the other wrist anymore. Win-win. The security umbrella is exactly how it sounds, which we tested and can confirm will smash an iPhone just fine. That's all thanks to this giant knob. No, not my face, the top of the handle, which doubles as a great grip, but can also be used in emergencies to break down your Amazon boxes in a hurry as well. It's not sharp, so there's no harm in seriously hurting yourself or anyone else around you, but it's tough enough to give a friendly shove in the opposite direction. As an umbrella though, the steel frame may be the strongest that we've ever scientifically tested. Combine that with the samurai sword carrying case, it's just a wicked bonus because you can pretend to be one too. There's even a reinforced stainless steel tip for obvious reasons, but also makes for a trusty walking cane too. Now, I've played my fair share of Advance Wars, Metal Slug, and Crazy Taxi back in the day. However, it seems what used to be cool has come full circle and once again is cool again. So picking up a Miyoo A30 emulator console not only allows you to relive the better days, but also in a form factor of a Game Boy Micro. And if you know, you know. It is an awkward shape for anyone with larger hands. However, the buttons are clicky, joystick is smooth, and while the shoulder buttons are positioned awkwardly, I personally don't use them much. So just know you're not going to be able to trigger them like a regular controller. The trade-off though is how tiny it is. About 2/3 the size of my iPhone, built in an all plastic but lightweight body, which just means this can easily come with me, well, anywhere. Finally, don't worry, the OGs will know. We always try and feature a sling bag for these collections. This time going to a brand we've rarely featured, Trakke, and their new zero waste 1 liter sling, which sounds tiny because it is. Thankfully, they've designed it so that it can fold properly to expand just enough while also sitting flat when empty. There's literally just one giant water sealed zipper opening up to one large pocket inside. The wax canvas feels like a sturdy pair of jeans that can withstand some sharp edges, and the tiny Velcro patch on the outside offers a little customization too. This is one of the first slings we've tested where the strap doesn't detach, so once it's on, it's on. You can also combine it with their micro fold-in pouch for additional storage and organization too, but overall, sometimes simple and sleek is exactly what you want, and Trakke is the embodiment of all of that. Comment down below, should we do a Deadpool or Hypebeast EDC? But that's it. I rest my Blackout EDC.